Welcome to the post-game report. Sorry, this is your boy, Devon Johnson. Sorry about that. Listen, man, Lakers lost. And my boy Chaz is getting set up right now. He'll be on in a minute. But Lakers lose a close one in a game that just, it broke our hearts. There's really, it's hard to even get on tonight because I know there's so many feelings. And we're going to talk through it tonight. We're going to have another therapy session, a family chat, but we're going to talk through some of the things that we saw, some good things, some bad things. The chat is already blowing up, and I can safely say that everything has to do with Markieff Morris and Danny Green. So we're going to get to that. What I want to point to before we jump into the things that we need to fix, I want to talk about two main things. Number one, LeBron James is an absolute stud. What makes this so heartbreaking tonight was that LeBron emptied the tank tonight. I don't even know how he recovers going into Sunday body-wise, because the man played 42 minutes, gave us 40 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. He was all over the place tonight, doing everything he possibly could, even down to the very last shot, knowing he was going to draw the double team, knowing that there was no way he was getting to the rim, and trying to get it over to an open player. And, of course, Danny Green missed the shot. Now, that's one great thing that we want to just make sure that we pause and recognize the greatness that we saw tonight, and just knowing that he's a part of our team. The next piece, though, and that I really have to mention, was Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis tonight, he scared us all. Okay, tonight he had 28 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks. And this was a hobbled AD. You could tell tonight he played 42 minutes as well, and he was just tired. But after that potential scare in the beginning, we didn't know what was going to happen with AD. And by the end of the game, you could see that right heel contusion was really bothering him. And he was trying his hardest to get it going. LeBron was exhausted. And it was a heavyweight fight. And it just came down to role players. The Heat role players delivered with Duncan Robinson and others. Iguodala playing elite defense tonight. And then, of course, Jimmy Butler doing what he does. And then it came down to the Lakers role players just not executing. And when I say role players, I think really what we're talking about is when we say role players tonight, we're going to exclude KCP from that. KCP did everything that he possibly could to contribute. 3 of 8 from three-point land, 6 of 15 overall from the field, scored 16 points. The only other Laker in double figures. While, of course, the Heat, their entire starting lineup was in double digits, as well as one Kendrick Nunn off the bench with 14. They only ran 7 players. Jimmy Butler ran majority of the game. I think he was only out for a matter of like a minute, if that. And so it came down to role players. And the role players executed for the Heat. They won this game by committee. And the Lakers essentially were holding on to a string because of LeBron James. And at the very end, we were just not able to get it done. Now, let's jump to the chat. Let me get Chaz on real quick so that we can talk it out and we can get it going. Chaz, my man, I'm putting you on the other side tonight. And here's what's funny. I text Chaz in the last minute because if you guys were here for the last post game, then you remember Chaz actually said this is what was going to happen. He said that this was going to be a close game. It was going to be a tough game, and it was going to be a game winner at the end. And I really do believe if we had a fully healthy AD in that last quarter, I think that it would have came right down to LeBron. I think they knew that Anthony couldn't do much outside of catch a rebound, and everything was flowing through LeBron. There's a lot to talk about. But Chaz, talk to me, man. What are you feeling? What's going on?
Danny Green, I need you to make that shot if you get paid $15 million to make wide open shots.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's my first thought. But at the same time, bear with me, y'all, because I'm actually like I'm thinking through this while I'm saying it to you. Um, I have no words almost, but we got 68 points from LeBron and AD, and 25 rebounds, 10 assists, 6 steals, 3 blocks. I
Yeah.
mean, these guys did everything, and it still wasn't enough. And the reason why was because they shot 43% from three. They shot 43%, and they shot 46% overall from the field, and they missed one free throw all night. I mean, the Heat are going to have to play a perfect game in order to beat us, and they've done so twice now, which is the same exact amount of times that they've beaten us in
Yeah.
this series. So they played absolutely perfect, absolutely perfect. I mean, aside from the end where they had a few defensive lapses to let us back into the game, KCP with a huge three. I told a buddy of mine, this is Kuzma's and this is not Kuzma and Caruso's game. It just wasn't.
No.
I knew it because the pressure was too much. It just was. Kuzma had 7 points, was a minus 17. Was
Yeah.
the worst on the team all night. Caruso was a minus 6. How many times is Caruso finish in the plus minus on the minus side, right? Even if he has 3 points, 5 points, 7 points, he's still always in the plus, and he just wasn't there defensively tonight as consistently enough because Kendrick Nunn and Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson were just too busy getting off, and that's just the bottom line. They had to play a perfect game. It was close throughout. Every quarter was separated by no more than 3 points, literally. So I told you it was going to come off of a game winner. It still could come off of a LeBron game winner in 6 or 7. I hope I'm wrong about 7, and we'll get them on Sunday. We'll get them on Sunday.
We'll get them.
We'll get them on Sunday. We won't be wearing the Mamba jerseys, guys, but
Yeah.
it won't be our way, but we still gonna get it done. And I still have the faith. But it's kind of weird. I was nervous all day. I'm more so anxious than anything because I just wanted to get it over with.
Yeah.
We weren't really nervous because nervous is the Heat. Do or die.
Yeah.
Right. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, this wasn't do or die for us. Still isn't even do or die for us on Sunday.
No.
But you want to take advantage and you want to be able to get it done sooner rather than later. And Bron's ready to get out that bubble, so he'll have 48 hours to sit on it. LeBron played his best playoff game.
Yeah,
he literally played his left. I mean, the second best playoff game that he had all playoffs long was the Denver closeout game where he hit consecutive shot after consecutive shot. But he gave you a 40-point trip dub, and still lost by 3. So Duncan Robinson was that difference. And
Absolutely.
I don't like the calls. I mean, they got a lot of calls.
Yeah.
They got a lot of calls.
Yeah.
That went their way. That could have went either way, but a lot of them went the Heat's way for some reason. And that was just the game.
And it's strange because they had 22 shots at the free throw line. We had 21, but it was the timing of the calls and the calls that they got were just so weird and so out of category. But I'm going to say it again.
That Duncan Robinson charge call on LeBron.
Yeah, when he clearly wasn't set.
Doesn't get that when he clearly wasn't set. He challenged the ball. This is a 3-time Finals MVP. Like, I mean, and he can't get that call. Really? Yeah. Like, I don't want to question the refs, and I don't want to make an excuse or anything like that. But there were just a lot of calls that could have went either way, and we weren't able to get many of those calls at all, if any. And every time the Lakers battled back, we were able to get within 2 or 3 or 1 or take a 1-point lead, and we're never really able to get over the hump. And even when we did have a 1-point lead after AD had that putback, still wasn't able to get that last stop because they had, Spo called a good play. And Jimmy Butler came straight down Main Street, and AD, didn't go absolutely vertical. He played as best as he could, and another call that just didn't go our way. So, we're humbled tonight, Laker Nation, but it's going to make it that much sweeter. I had my champagne on cool and on chill tonight. I had all my homies here. We was ready to celebrate coronation night, and we got humbled. So it'll make it that much sweeter on Sunday.
And listen, and once again, I got to keep pointing back to this. In our minds, there was a point in that game where Anthony Davis was gone for the playoffs. That's what it looked like. It looked like something happened to his Achilles. and he wasn't coming back. And so to watch him battle through that for me, I would rather have AD going into Game 6 than not have AD. And so, at the end of the day, I think this really came down to role players. Our role players did not produce outside of KCP, and you got to have somebody else step up. And obviously, Duncan Robinson was going ham. I will point to this as I get ready to go to the comments because there's a lot of them. But the fact that KCP played 31 minutes tonight, but Kyle Kuzma got 22, and here's the key. For Kyle Kuzma, he put up 10 shots tonight, only made 3. And listen, he didn't make one three. Terrible. He was terrible from the corner 3.
He wasn't in rhythm. He was just too anxious. The moment wasn't there for him. Caruso, moment wasn't there for him.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, even though I like Caruso's defense, I would have liked a veteran in that position more than Caruso. I would have liked Rondo to finish the game a little bit more than Caruso, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I could just tell that this was not Kuzma and Caruso's night. And maybe they'll get off on Sunday, but you ride with the horses that got you there. I understand that. But you could just tell they just weren't in a rhythm. And Kuzma was, terrible, even with the shots that he did make.
Ironically, terrible, but the leading scorer off the bench, Markieff Morris, had 0 points, and of course the turnover at the very end.
By default, we only played 4 guys off the bench tonight.
Yeah. Devontae Roberts says, "Why is Danny Green so bad?" D Million, bro, I'm sick. I'm crying right now. I feel you, man. Anakat Mohan says same thing. Sick right now. I don't know if therapy will help, but it was an all-time LeBron performance, and we lost. Listen, guys, this is why LeBron said last game was must win. This is why he said that. Because if you let them get into that game and it's 2-2 and then they win this game, that's a much different game. Being able to walk into Sunday up 3-2, and I know we wanted to end it tonight. I know we wanted it to be 5-5-5-5, but we didn't. And we just have to put that to bed. But here's the key. The pressure is off of us of trying to win in the Kobe jerseys. Everybody, the O'Brien trophy showed up. It just looked like tonight was set up for the Lakers to win. And that's a lot of pressure for young guys, and it showed. But when you walk into Sunday...
There wasn't too much for LeBron and AD. They showed up and they showed out.
Absolutely. We're talking about
you got 68 and 25 from those guys. God.
Yeah. And you have to feel good about that. You have a great duo, and KCP, I think he's riding that confidence from the last game. I think you're going to see it again on Sunday, and they're going to come in, and all they have to do is just win. There's no pressure. There's no Kobe jerseys that you have to wear. There's none of that. You just come in, do what you know you can do, what you've already done 3 times this series, and do it one more time. I think they're going to settle in. I think this was a gut punch for them. And at the end of the day, this is what we care about. Did you win the chip? And if they win on Sunday, we're crying now, and it feels horrible right now. But if they win on Sunday, I feel I'm fine. I could care less.
I got all the confidence in the world that that'll happen. But for right now, man, I'm with you guys in the comments.
It's tough.
I'm gonna lean on you, big dog. I'm gonna lean on you, big dog, for the optimism tonight, because it ain't coming from this side.
I got you, man. It's
gonna take me till about mid-morning tomorrow to get that energy that y'all know me to have. Yeah. But right now
it's a lot. It's a lot. And listen, like I said again, when we walk in there on Sunday, we're walking in knowing that we lost this game. And remember, this is the one thing you got to remember. We have never in the playoffs lost back-to-back playoff games. Okay, I just want to point that out, which means the next win is the only win you need. So I really believe they're going to make it happen. Bron and AD should have played the whole game tonight. A loss like that is unacceptable. No, Devontae, it was not on Bron and AD.
42 minutes each.
Yeah,
it was not on them.
It's on the role players.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to keep our neck above water, Bron hit 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. Yeah. He was 6 of 9 from 3 tonight, which was the best that he's ever shot in a finals game, ever.
He did amazing, man.
It's not on those guys. It's on. I'm gonna put it on Vogel more than anybody, because he has the power to switch up the rotation, put the guys in that are needed to be in there. But
to be honest, man,
for everybody else, you got to step up. And Caruso, Vogel, then Kuzma, then Caruso. That order. Yeah, then Markieff for throwing for throwing the ball away.
Well,
my man right here, he's like, Man, he threw it away. Just do it. You just threw the champ. You literally threw the championship away, my man, right there.
Well, and listen, he didn't throw the chip away. He just threw the game away, and we could have had the chip.
But it feels like it.
It does. And this is what I love, man. This, like, once again, is what I'm saying. Even Markieff Morris wasn't playing his normal game. When did we know Morris to score 0 points the way he did? And he had some good looks. He only shot 2 threes.
Yeah.
He didn't hit tonight. He wasn't hitting. And so part of this was just role players just not stepping up. I fear we are in trouble if AD is injured. Now, AD is going to be fine. They're going to get him going. They're gonna make sure they work on his whatever it is, that contusion, and get him going. But it was very clear that see what happened tonight at the end. The Lakers knew that if they were going to get this game, they could not take LeBron or AD out, and so they played in a weird rotation that they're not used to. If you guys kind of watch Vogel's rotations, you'll see how he staggers.
Yeah,
LeBron and AD.
and he pretty much played AD that last fourth quarter. But here's what I want to say before I get out of here early, guys. We'll get him on Sunday. I have every confidence that we'll do that. The game tonight we had it right there, was there for the taking. The role players and Vogel overall, I didn't like the last play. And Danny Green could have stepped up, hit that shot, but I'm not going to blame it on anybody. Just play better. We'll get him on Sunday. Keep the faith. Stay optimistic. I was wrong. I'll take it. But Lakers in 6.
There it is.
That's all I got to say. So
what else? That's it.
I love y'all.
Say.
I love y'all. Appreciate y'all, and stay safe out here. And I'll see y'all Sunday night, regardless. All right.
I'll check you, man.
Peace, y'all.
All right. So, guys, so you kind of heard that there, right? So let me get to some of these comments here. Morris got to go. What the F was that? Listen, man, I know Morris has done some great things. He's a tremendous pickup. Just this last game, we called him the better twin. So we're not going to throw him away. But tonight, he made some mistakes. And for some of these guys, and this is not me being an apologist, I just want to make sure that we put everything into context. A lot of these guys have never been here before. You're talking about a huge disparity, right? Bron's been here before, AD hasn't. Danny Green's been here before, Kuzma hasn't. And what's funny is that this is where Danny Green was supposed to step up. He did not do it. And for Markieff, he's figuring this out as well. And the pressure got to him. He made the wrong play. And Lakers haven't played very many games like this. The last game we played like this was when AD hit the game winner. And it was an out-of-bounds play. We had all the momentum. And AD hit the shot, but it wasn't that kind of night. AD is hobbled, and we just couldn't get it done. The championship winning shot being left in the hands of Green. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that is not the look, and it's unfortunate, man. And to be honest with you, there's no defending that, right? We understand that some shots you're gonna make, some shots you're not gonna make. But this one was a wide open shot, and he shot it short, which to me is not a sign of fatigue as much as it is a sign of leg strength. And it just feels like he just didn't get up to get it. And in a position that he has been known to hit big threes in playoff games, and there was no bigger three I can think of than this one. He missed it, and he missed it bad, in my opinion. I would rather have seen it clank off that back rim for a long rebound than to see it hit the front of the rim and come down. Bron served up the game on a golden platter, and Danny clanked it. And this is one of the things I saw. KCP was on the opposite end in the corner, which is really where he shoots the higher percentage. But I think I would have loved to see KCP closer to Bron, just knowing that he had it going tonight. And even if he could have pump faked and got to the hole and maybe got an and one and get 3 on that. But I think the positioning for me was probably where I had more of an issue. I'd rather see Danny Green in the corner and KCP close to Bron than the other way around. Get this idiots out of LA. I hear you guys. I hear you. Butler had an all-time great game. Yeah, he had another triple-double, close to 40 points, and we'll see what happens on the next one. Bron shooting 40 shots next game. I don't know. It all depends on how Anthony Davis comes out. When Anthony came out in the beginning of this game, he was coming out active, coming out hot. And so when he walked away for that segment of the game, it wasn't that the game got out of hand or any of that. That's obviously not the issue because we battled back in the fourth and got the lead. That's not the issue. But how you run your offense is different. And if you noticed, they showed a slow-mo shot of Bron just shaking his head as Anthony Davis is hobbling back to the floor. And I think one thing we forget is that we're asking this man to do things. We're talking about Anthony Davis that no other big is doing. We want you to guard other guards, guard positions 1 through 5, shoot threes, rebound, be defensive player of the year. And you can tell it's taking a toll on his body because he's having issue after issue. And I think it's going to be fine because all he has to do is be good for one more game and they'll get him going. But let's not forget that we're dealing with a unicorn. We're dealing with a unicorn type player. And he's learning how to be ready. And this is one of the things Bron has been coaching AD up on. It's like, you got to know how to take care of your body, because Bron knows if you take care of your body on the offseason, you'll be prepared to do what he did tonight, play 42 minutes and put up 40 points. This was game to win, Jason Jeter. I don't think AD is good. I think he'll be fine. All the reports are saying it was just he re-aggravated that injury. And he received zero medical attention, I think, until probably he got into the locker room. But he just kind of played through all that. He played more minutes than he's used to playing. He played longer with stretches without breaks than he's used to playing. And he had aggravated that contusion. So I think it's just more about him sitting down for a minute, kind of getting the treatment that he needs to get, and he'll be back on the floor. The Laker bench got beat by some dude named Nunn. It's not some dude named Nunn. It was the runner-up to Rookie of the Year, the starter the entire year until he got corona. And then Dragic came in. So really the Heat got into the playoffs because of Nunn. Nunn is a stud. He's great offensively, kind of a defensive liability, but offensively he's amazing. The Heat know that. It's not like they were bringing Nunn out the street. This dude came in and he was doing his thing, and I really think he could have been Rookie of the Year had it not been for Ja just putting Memphis on his back. But Nunn is a player that even the Lakers know you can't just ignore. Wish we had Duncan Robinson instead of Danny Green for that one last possession, sort of. But you also have Danny Green. Duncan Robinson is a defensive liability and has zero defensive presence. You also have Danny Green, who's 7th all time in playoff blocks. So you have somebody who's kind of known for defense. Tonight obviously wasn't that night for him. But you know, what you really want to say is, I really wish a different shooter would have been in that position. That's what you really want to say. Because the Lakers have gotten to this position by defense. And tonight, it was tough. The anchor of your defense is hobbled. Your guys don't have the stroke going. LeBron is doing incredible things offensively. But it's tough. Even Jimmy Butler getting to the foul line for those 2 shots to give them the lead in that last part, there's nothing you could do. He literally got past, and all AD could do was just jump in front of him and try to block the shot. I don't care what team they play for. If I ever see a Laker take a dive, even though the Heat were doing the same thing like KCP did in the 4th, I will actively campaign for them to be traded all post game. I'm not sure what that is. Love my Lake show, but think Game 7 is imminent. No, I'm not going to overreact to be a prisoner of the moment. I think for that to happen, we'd have to lose back-to-back games, and I don't think it's going to happen. When they won Game 3, we felt kind of the same way, and then we came back in Game 4 and we won it. Once again, it's one win. That's all you need, and LeBron James will get it done. The pressure of the moment, Kyle Davis got the most of them, coach included. Coach Vogel made some interesting decisions. I'm not sure how much of that was based off of how AD was playing, because the AD rotational minutes got messed up when he kept AD on the bench trying to get him ready to come back in. I'm not sure, but I would have liked to see more KCP. When he has it going the way he was going, you just saw KCP sitting for long stretches of time, and I didn't like that. As soon as Danny Green pulled a mid-range step back, Vogel should have taken him out. Yeah, and then the question is who do you put in? Right? Because you have Markieff Morris, who most of us already have crucified. Kuzma wasn't doing well tonight. Rondo actually probably could have done something in that position. And Caruso, we just never really know. He could be hot, he could not. But he's been kind of more consistent. But you're kind of out of options, man. You kind of go with the veteran and just ride with it. I mean, if that's the case, you could say I'd rather have Quinn Cook, who's a far better three-point shooter than Danny Green has been this season. But who knows? Just talk about Morris and Green, Leslie Johnson. Why didn't Bron cover Butler last 2 minutes? Bron didn't need to do nothing else. That dude was so exhausted. And when you see somebody giving their body like that, all you can do is give him kudos. He was not the issue. The third quarter was awful in terms of fouling three-point shooters. Those 2 and 1 3-point fouls that we had, Kuzma just getting pump faked and then throwing his body and acting like he didn't do anything. Like, that's the kind of stuff that will get you benched in Vogel's offense. You can go 3 of 10 from the three-point line, but when you start doing things like fouling three-point shooters on simple pump fakes, that's the kind of stuff that will get you, because you're taught how to stay grounded. It's about being disciplined on those shots, and we were not those shots. Rondo on one of them running across and then catching the knee of the shooter as he ran across, clearly already challenging the shot, and it just gave momentum to the team that they didn't need to have. Having no timeouts throughout the game hurts. Yeah. I didn't like the artificial switch to the Mamba jerseys. Felt more like trying to will a win rather than earning it. Blake, I like that point. I don't usually say this, but the refs in that game were atrocious. Both sides, but Lakers felt it more late. Yeah, and it's weird. As crazy as it's been with these refs, the Lakers and the Heat have been pretty even when it comes to for free throw shooting at the end of the game. So we only shot one shot less. We missed a couple. But the truth is that you kind of calculate that there's going to be calls that go your way and calls that don't. The question is can you stop putting yourself in position to where the refs blow the whistle? And the Lakers did that a lot tonight. They kept putting themselves in a position where it was questionable. And if it's questionable, then you really can't fault the refs because it's up to their discretion. But if you stay grounded and disciplined, you can win that game. In that jersey, LeBron should have took that last shot. What would Kobe have done? 24K Petty. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you, because in that position, we know that LeBron is an intellectual player. Kobe is pure grit. And you just kind of live and die with Kobe shooting the shot. And of course, Kobe would have shot it. And to be honest with you, we wouldn't have cared if he made it or not. We just know where it's going to go. The issue is that with LeBron, he's always thinking about the next play, and he made the right basketball play. Draw the double team, kick it out. But once again, it's about Danny Green. This is not a LeBron issue game. This is other people did not step up, and the only reason it was as close as it was is because LeBron James played out of his mind. It's over next game. Michael, I like it. Jimmy even said they got lucky with shots. Now we're talking. The official word is choked. D.L. Johnson. You know, I won't fight you on that, man. I won't fight you on that, and I'll say why. Because you had the lead. And then when it came down to the time, it wasn't like the Lakers didn't have opportunities to take this home. Even before Danny Green's three, Kuzma had opportunities in the corner, couldn't get it done. Markieff Morris had a couple opportunities, couldn't get it done. So this was really, if there is a word to put this on here, we choked away that game. Fouls killed us all game. Sort of, yeah, it was just the timing of it. Once again, we didn't really commit as many fouls as people think. Tonight, we had 21 personal fouls. On our side, and they had 19. So it wasn't like there was a huge disparity in fouls. It was the timing of the fouls that made all the difference. I want Vogel to complain about the refs. Listen, I mean, we can go the Phil Jackson route. You know, Phil would do some psychology type stuff, but it's a little bit different when you're in the bubble in this sense. You don't really have the crowds that are kind of affecting that. And for the refs, it's really just them and the players and the coaches. And so it's really kind of hard to, even complaining is not going to do much, right? You're already in the finals. The refs they're not going to change the refereeing crew. The refereeing crew is who it's going to be for the finals, period. So at the end of the day, I mean, you can try to get calls your way, but there's really no influence of the crowd and none of that stuff. It's just going to be what it is, and we're going to have to live with that. After seeing AD limp off the court this game to win, really worried about his injury, Jason Jeter. I think he's going to be all right. Once again, and they were just reading the doctor's reports and stuff as Twitter was kind of going by, and most of them were saying it was just one of those things where it got aggravated. It's almost the same as what happened with Bam. When Bam aggravated his injury with his neck. The issue with Bam was that his injury was a re-aggravation of something that was far worse. This AD has played through this heel contusion before, so he'll be all right. The refs ain't ready to go home. That's from Spade Torero. It really should have been a sweep. I wanted it to be a sweep, but I keep reminding myself that Jimmy Butler is not sane. This dude pulls something out of his hat. Every single time we think it's about to be a wrap, this dude comes out and he pulls something out of his hat. 40-point game in game 3. Tonight comes out in game 5, puts up 35 triple-double. He's trying everything he can to will his team to win. And so the Lakers are going to win game 6, but it's going to be a tough one. And when we do win it, we're going to breathe and we're going to be okay and we're going to process it. And then we can talk about trading people and all that, even though half of that's not going to happen. But at this point, the Lakers need to regroup, revive, get refreshed, and then come out and then tear them apart. Keith missed Braun wide open on that last possession. He sure did, and I think that was one of the things Braun looked at him as right when they were going back was like, man, who are you passing it to? Obviously trying to get it down in the post, but that's not the play. With how AD finished the game, I don't know how effective he will be for next game. He's going to be fine, guys. He's going to be fine. I think he's going to be great. He just got to get some time in, but he played, like I said, a long stretch, so I get it. Jay Williams said LeBron shouldn't have passed to Green. That's Jay Watson. Yeah, and you know, it's hard to argue with a guy who leads everything. He leads in assists and all of that, right? And so I hear Jay Williams because all of us feel like we would make better plays because we're watching it from the outside. But when you're talking about somebody who's been to the finals 10 times, right? We have seen this before. We have seen where dominant players, where Jordan kicks it to Kerr. We've seen these moments where you're trusting your team, and this is some of it is about leadership and playing the right way. You want to instill confidence in your team. Unfortunately, Danny Green just did not shoot with confidence. It didn't go in, and LeBron made the right basketball play. I know all of us want us to bully ball our way through, but it just wasn't there. They had already crowded him on the baseline. LeBron is not great from the mid-range. And in that position, you make the right basketball play as opposed to trying to establish your dominance when you're already exhausted and your legs are gone. Kuzma is trash. I thought that flagrant on Howard was hard, but a bad call. I did not think Howard was going to start the game. Pre-game, they interviewed Vogel. He said he liked Dwight's toughness, and for the most part, he made his presence known in the beginning. But I just don't feel like the Heat are playing a game where Howard is necessary. I feel like when you're the only big that they have is the same size as LeBron, then you make everything about defense and switching. And I think that's where kind of our issues were tonight, is that the guys were just committed to not switching and fighting over screens. And that's how you had Duncan Robinson getting the and one on the three-point play. Or that's how you had Duncan Robinson getting open in general, is that instead of doing the switch, essentially we kept fighting through screens. And I don't think we're good. D Million, bro, I'm crying. I'm hurt. This is painful. I'm with you, bro. Keith had a horrible game. Liability on defense and not making his shots. Yeah. Danny Green is really a bum. Could have had a Paxton Kerr Ori moment. Yeah, he could have. But he didn't tonight. This game was there to win, and they completely went away from what got them to the point of the game in this season. An ill-advised DG3 and risky passes inside. Dude, if AD can't be 100%, we might lose this series as our role players are trash. Let's come back. Okay, I hear you, the guru. Let's come back. Okay, let's calm down for a minute. Okay. Because I see where this is getting ready to go, okay? We're going to get it out. Okay? We're going to talk our trash because that's what Lakers do. That's what a Lakers fan do. We talk it, okay? But here at the end of the day, you got to remind yourself, you are not in the finals without the bench, okay? We were just talking about playoff Rondo and how important he was and the shots that Caruso hit and all this stuff. We can't throw him away because they don't consistently do it. We have to understand that there are going to be moments where they fall short. They fell short tonight, and it hurt. Here's the key. The finals are still going. You're still up a game, and you have another opportunity on Sunday. We're going to get it done. We didn't get it done tonight, and that part hurts. But here's what we cannot do. We can't throw away our team while we're still trying to win the chip. We don't throw away everything and say it's a wrap. We lost the game tonight, and it hurts. But I'm telling you, Laker Nation, we are going to win the chip. We're going to settle in. Sunday's going to be the day. In Game 6, we're going to win the game. Now, people can stop saying that this is an asterisk next to it. Absolutely not. The Miami Heat have proven they deserve to be in the finals. Okay? And they're showing us right now, and we're going to elevate our game and make it happen. They have better shooters than us and can light up again, and LeBron can be cold from three. Joe A. Yeah. They do have better shooters, but they don't have a better team. And this is what you got to remember. The Heat have shooters, but the Lakers have defense. This is the key. The Lakers were never built on shooting. I don't know where that narrative came from. Nothing about who they hired said that, okay? Lionel Hollins and Frank Vogel by themselves are defensive-minded coaches. Everybody that they surrounded, Danny Green was given the contract for his veteran leadership and his defense more than anything else, okay? And he's had moments where he's lapped on that, but Alex Caruso and all that is all about defense, okay? Vogel cares about defense. And so while they may have better shooters, what you want to do is have better defense, okay? It's not about trying to match them shooter for shooter. That's not how it works. That's not how it works, guys. For us, this team is built on length, it's built on size, and it's built on defense, okay? When you go for length and size over small ball, then you're gonna have to deal with them having better shooters. Houston had better shooters. To be honest, the Nuggets had better shooters. But the issue is none of them have the same kind of defensive tenacity or mindset that we have. Tonight, we didn't get it done. And we didn't get it done because while we did play great defense, and we had plenty of moments. Look, think about this. I want you guys to think about this. AD had 3 steals and 3 blocks by himself. That's crazy. LeBron had another 3 steals. We caused them to have 13 turnovers, okay? Like, you're playing defense, you're doing your thing, but offensively we were just off. Let me keep going. Haven't lost 2 in a row yet. There we go. A lot of calls didn't go our way. Petty Pendergrass, yeah. Kobe would have ripped that bench a new one all day Saturday. Let me tell you something. No, that's the honest to God truth. I'm telling you right now, Kobe probably waiting by their bedside in their dreams to rip them a new one. But the truth is, God, man, I miss him so much. Hope AD can play. Positive vibes, guys. AD's going to play. Role players choked today. Zelford Guerrero. Absolutely, they did choke. Duncan just flopping all game. Petty Pendergrass. Winston Mobile Apps. What is wrong with Danny Green? I wish I knew, man. I really do. I made a comment, and I don't want to make light of this because mental health is so important, guys. So important, okay? But he said something that reminded me very much of Paul George when he said how hard of a time he was having in that bubble. And the truth is, it's hard, man. I can only imagine how long. And part of, I think, the frustration for LeBron tonight is he probably wants to get out that bubble more than anybody else. But Danny Green was talking about the toll it was taking emotionally and psychologically on him, and it just sounded so much like what Paul George was saying when the Clippers were in the bubble. And so it may be so much more mental fatigue than it is anything else. But let me tell you how we get that going. Okay, so that's how we get it going. We let him sit on it tonight. We let him watch film. But our job as fans is to get these dudes mentally right. Okay, our job is not to tear them down mentally. We got to get them mentally right. We can tear them down when the season is over and we already got the chip. But while we fighting for this chip, it is all banded brothers together. And we got to figure it out. Call them out. Say you got to be better, but then remind him that he can be better. Okay, that's what we got to do. Danny Green has so many chances. It's ridiculous at this point. Yeah, and here's the thing, Devontae. We here. We can't throw him out the bubble. He's here. He's in the starting lineup. He's going to be doing what he's going to be doing. So we have a choice. Either we can just throw him away, which we can't, or we can try to do whatever we can to hype this dude up to get his mentality right. I'm leaning on you for the optimism too. Listen, guy, I'm here for the optimism, man. I turned off that TV and I was ready to fight everybody in my house. And all I got is 2 toddlers and my wife, so obviously I ain't fighting them. I was angry. I was upset. And then I sat down, I thought about it, and I was like, we're going to do this again on Sunday. All right, let's do it again on Sunday. This would have hurt so much more if we were tied in the series, we were down a game, and I knew we would have to win 2 more games. Or I'd feel really bad if this was game 7 and there were no more chances. But the fact that all we have to do is win 1 game out of the next 2. That's all we got to do. Just one game out of 2, and we can do it. I blame Kuzma. He was horrible. Bam can be getting healthier while AD can actually get hurt. Yeah, see, here's the thing. Bam actually does not play to their strength. If you notice, since Bam has been back playing the Lakers, his totals have been down. He only had 13 points tonight with 4 rebounds. Bam does not match up well with us. I want to make sure we point that out. He has moments, and they normally try to get him going early, but you didn't hear his name called hardly at all tonight, or the last game, or the game before that. And the reason why is because just the way he sets up as their big. Just want to point out, when they start their starting lineup, they have no defined center. Okay, Bam Adebayo is a 4. He plays the same position as AD, and so he's their center. They're playing small ball like Houston does. Okay. So it's not, Bam is not really the issue. It's Jimmy Butler doing things that he's never done before. This is the highest assist total he's averaged in a series since Butler has been in the league. He has never been an assist person. But tonight, had 11 assists. 11 assists and 12 rebounds. Butler is the one who's single-handedly keeping these guys in it, and you have to kind of you have to either deal with Tyler Hero or deal with Duncan Robinson, and you just got to hope you can contain all the 3-point shooters, and that's where the issue is at. But Bam is not going to be the factor. That just gave Miami the extra push to force another games. Players started packing too. Come on. If the bench fails to show up again, we're going to need an all-time LeBron performance. Chris Finn, I think we're going to need it regardless, bro, to be honest. I think Jimmy Butler is feeling himself right now. Bro, I would never want to Danny, A. Green, and Keith again. Ship these dudes out of I hear you, man. I hear you. Dwight played way too many minutes. I don't think so. Dwight played a total of 15 minutes, and he gave you what you needed. He gave you defensive toughness on the inside. He set a tone early. I think everything shifted on the AD thing. When AD started hobbling, I think that's when everything went downhill. The problem with Caruso was everyone gives his level of effort in the finals, or should be, so his lack of skills at this level shines through more and more. He's an effort player being outworked by the Heat. It's not an effort thing. It's Caruso has incredible defensive presence. That's what the reason why they brought him onto the team is because his defense is so great. His numbers show it. His defensive efficiency rating shows it. The issue that they're having now is that you're running up against a pistol offense, which we really haven't seen as much this season. And so for Alex Caruso, he's learning how to fight against a new offense. And to be honest, the Heat have mastered the pistol offense. They just mastered it. And so until Caruso gets his hands around it, and it's not going to be this series, he needs a couple more seasons to kind of understand how to recognize defensive settings before they happen. There was a couple plays where Rondo was trying to point out to Caruso where he needs to be because Rondo has seen the pistol. But Caruso's not really into that space. And so the way the Heat are playing zone on the offensive end, and the way they're running the pistol and the pick and roll on the defensive end or the other end is it's a problem. It's a problem for the Lakers. Rondo would help. Every time Lakers lost, they bounced back the next game. Absolutely. Think Chase Aguiar, my boy. Think Danny can be better. I hope he does, but it hurts right now. Guys, I'm with you. Listen, I had my Braun jersey on. I took it off. I was like, man, I don't even know what I can do with it. Danny Green got to go. Well, here's the issue. He can't go now. You can't ship him out right now. So while we want to get him out, we just have to figure out how are we going to deal with Danny Green missing shots and what is our responsibility and our role in it. Lakers choked. Yes, we did. Green is trash. People complaining about LeBron passing. Jordan passed to Kerr, Paxson to get him those chips. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, looking from where we're at, I think we all look at the TV and we can pinpoint things in the moment and say, no, pass to that dude, he's open. And it's true, we see it, but we have the benefit of being able to see the whole game from a bird's eye perspective from our couches. And so, it put us in those same positions. I don't know. I don't know if we make those plays. I don't know if we see the game the same way those guys see it. And so, yeah, I mean, it's easier for us to say what should have been done. The reason why they're going to go back and look at film is because they're going to be able to look back and say, I should have done that. But in the moment, it's almost impossible to get them to say that. Morris cannot guard Butler. He cannot. When Butler gets to that mid-range, Al Sanchez, that's a wrap. All Butler has to do is get within that little mid-range around the key, and he's got it. I would trade Danny Green for a 2057 second-round pick. Woo, y'all lighten him up. Wow, package Kuzma and Green for some real shooters. I'm trying to figure out how y'all into the offseason, and we ain't even got the chip yet. Y'all trying to ship people out, and we still got another game to play. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Lord, Duncan Robinson looking like Thompson. Every now and again, he'll do it to you. Give THT Kuzma's playing time. Are you crazy, Jarrell? Do you understand that THT got all the motor in the world, but that man has not learned. You understand how young this kid is and how he has never been in this position. And if you think that you're going to throw a young kid in there like that and just say, hey, man, perform, that's asking a lot, man. That's asking a lot. This dude is already saying how much he's looking up to these guys and learning from them. That's letting you know that he understands the bigness of this moment and he ain't ready for it. Now, I do believe that in THT's future, that he's going to be a huge piece of another chip that we win. I see something great in that kid. I just don't think now's the time to try to expose it. What I meant is if KP takes a dive like he did in the fourth, he can pack his bags and find a new team. I didn't see when you said take a dive, I didn't see what the dive was. Kobe would be in the gym right now shooting hoops. He would if they would allow him to, but he's not allowed to. They have to get on a bus and go home. Do you start Morris and let Dwight come off the bench? Jarrell, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought that Dwight Howard was going to be on the bench and Markieff was going to come out. But I think I saw the reason why tonight is that Morris has an issue with switches in guarding Jimmy. And so they are pick hunting Morris the same way that we pick hunt Robinson or Hero. They know that Butler knows that if he wants to get his mid-range, give me Morris. And we got to figure out a way to either trap Jimmy at the high post or figure out something to keep him out of that mid-range and do something. Do we lose 3 in a row? Did we lose 3 in a row all season? We are fine. We haven't lost 2 in a row all playoffs. So I just want to point that out. Nah, that was one flat Braun versus Jimmy, the superstars of the finals. Go get the bucket, Braun. Yeah, nah, it's about basketball and not trying to be individual players. That's how they got here. Should we have had Rondo in the game at the end? Now, here's what's funny. I'm glad you pointed that out. Let's have a conversation real quick. I know it's getting late. The play against the Nuggets where AD hit that game-winning three. The players talked about this. The actual call, the play was for Bron to get the ball. Rondo said, "Let me take it out," and Rondo ends up making his own decision to pass to AD. So Rondo, in that moment, really became the coach. Scrapped the play they were gonna have, and then literally waits until Anthony comes off that screen, passes it to AD, and he makes it. But that was not the play that was designed coming out of that timeout. The reason why you have Rondo in those moments is because he's able to make plays that may not fit what was drawn up, right? And so I think that would have been it, man. I think that would have been it. AD said he'll be fine for Sunday. He better be fine. You want this chip or not, brother? He gonna be fine. He gonna be fine. Devon, give us something encouraging from this game that we can carry over to Game 6. Absolutely. Absolutely. What we know is that the Heat win games when Jimmy Butler plays out of his mind. The only times that the Heat have won these games is when Jimmy Butler has gone off for a triple-double. What Jimmy Butler has never done is put these numbers up 2 times in a row. Now, he was able to do it in Game 3. He couldn't keep it up in Game 4. We won. He was able to do it in Game 5. Let me encourage you. He's not going to be able to put that same energy up on Game 6. And I'm going to tell you what really helped the Heat tonight was that they had those 3 days as opposed to the 2. But now you don't have that. And you have a guy named LeBron James who has conditioned his body for these moments. The reason why LeBron was able to do what he did tonight is because he said, I want my body ready for these moments. And if you think LeBron is going to come out flat, if you think LeBron's going to come out with less intensity, I'm telling you right now, LeBron is having different conversations with that team tonight. He's having different conversations with that team tomorrow. And when they walk into that arena on Sunday, they're going to win the game. And that's the way it's going to be for us. And we're going to hate it because we wish we could have swept and we didn't do it. We wish we could have won in Game 5. We didn't do it. But we have won 3 times, which means that we have beaten this team more times than they've beaten us. All we got to do is do it one more time. My encouragement to you guys is let's vent. Let's get it out tonight. Let's throw it up. And then tomorrow, let's start looking at the win for Game 6. I think it would be crazy of us to let this negative energy carry on into Sunday. We can't walk into Sunday's game looking at Sunday's game like the Heat have already beat us for the championship. They've only beat us twice out of a 5-game series. And you're not in the playoffs anymore. You're in the finals. This is it. This is for the actual trophy, which is in that building. Players elevate their game. It's going to be harder here than it is anywhere else. Kobe had to experience that. The Showtime Lakers had to experience that. Jordan had to experience that. It gets harder the closer you get to that chip, and what we're seeing is adversity. We've been spoiled. The first 3 rounds, we watched ourselves gentlemen sweep. Those teams were never ready. In fact, if we would have met the Clippers, probably would have been the same thing. But the Heat are not cut from that cloth. It's a bunch of guys who are essentially throwaways. And they came in, they have a great coach, they have a crazy dude named Jimmy Butler, and they're scrapping for their lives. What you have is somebody who's been to the finals 10 times. 10 times. He knows this game. He's going to get his guys ready, and this is going to be the experience they need. And when they come out of this season, they'll be far more experienced for the next one. So I believe that this is the testing ground that we need to develop a championship mentality for Anthony Davis, for people like THT, for people like Caldwell Pope. I don't know if Kuzma's going to stay on the team in 2 years, but whatever the case may be, I think this is the experience that they're going to need. LeBron has lost finals before, and what makes him so valuable now is he knows how to keep yourself from losing. Nobody should ever pass the green. Let's not say that. Morris and Kuzma need to look at film on how to guard Butler. Whew! It's not just it. Listen, guys. Butler is a problem. That's like saying the Heat need to study tape to learn how to guard AD. There's some things you just can't do. You just got to find a way, defensive schemes, if you will, to figure it out. And so this is one of those things where I feel like they're going to do like they did before. When they came out after Jimmy won Game 3, they came back out in Game 4, and they made sure that they doubled Jimmy. And what helped us tremendously, is that their shooters weren't hitting the way that they could have. And so it forced Jimmy into a weird spot. And so I think we're going to have to come out in Game 6 and do the same thing. 80 on his heel. I'll be back for Sunday. There we go. If Vogel complains about the refs, then you can get Howard. You can play Howard more. I think Howard needs to figure out how to be aggressive and do all the little crazy things that he does, like the little Ron Artest stuff that he does that gets under people's skin. But he has to be able to do it and not be so obvious. I think the refs are onto him now. you don't pick up a tech and a flagrant one in the same game, and then you're going to walk into the next game and just keep doing the same stuff you were doing. Their eyes are on Howard now, and so he has to be really, really careful how he plays going in the next game. AD said he good. The striped shirts sure help the Heat. Defense and rebounds win championships. Manny Centennial. I like that, man. Lakers didn't play defense all game. If they come out with a defensive mindset in Game 6, they win. Absolutely. Let me also encourage you with this. Think about this. We were down by 11. Notice how fast the deficits went away, right? Notice how fast we went from being down. As soon as they turned it on, they went up. The issue with the Lakers is they have to start with that intensity. They knew going into the fourth that they could get the lead. Here's what's key. If we would have went into the fourth with the lead, I would have felt so much more comfortable. But the way that the game was going and going back and forth, and we were fighting and scrapping, by the time we did get the lead, we had exhausted ourselves and we couldn't get on our normal transition runs. So what we need to do is establish that early, get the transitions early, so you can kind of play your game towards the end and it's not forced with threes. What's wrong with Kuz? Man, I don't know. They are beating us. They are not beating us 3 games in a row. Relax, everyone. It's all gone. Karen, I love your energy. Can't rely on past wins and records. It's the only thing you can rely on, Blake. It's the only thing you can rely on. You utilize trends from the past to set your precedent for the present. If you ignore the past and just throw it all to you have to rely on something. Otherwise, why are we signing people? Here's the truth. The truth is that you have to go back and look at film and look at what you did well and look at what you did bad and then fix it. So everything is built off of what you've done and you're walking into the next game. Because here's the key. You don't know what the Heat are going to do. You have no idea what their next scheme is. You don't know what Spoelstra's going to cook up on the offensive end or defensive end. So all you can do is take what he's done, gather that information, and then take that into the next game. Would have liked Raptors green than this green. Oh, yeah, now we're talking. Devon and Showtime, you are my mental fix. I'm here for you, man. Hi, your positivity is so good, man. I'm trying to be. I'm going to go eat me a double-double from In-N-Out in a minute and just cry myself to sleep. Avery is our best wing defender. He would have helped a lot. Man, he would. And can you guys think about this? We're doing this without one of our best defenders. Avery Bradley would have been on Butler full court, man. This dude he's a defensive monster. I really hope he's back with us next year. But here's the truth. We ain't got him. And what I did see that I loved is that Avery's been in communication with Coach Vogel. From what I saw, a report said he's been in communication with Coach Vogel throughout these playoffs. And you love to hear that. You love to hear that he's still engaged, even though he couldn't be there. But man, time for positivity. Lakers in 6. There we go. I did not feel AD this game offensively, even if he had 28. That needs to change. Yeah, James, you felt him early, right? He was getting it going early. And then that weird freak injury happened. And it just felt like everything from there, you were just hoping he could contribute without permanently hurting himself. I think all of us were kind of sitting on pins and needles because we know how important AD is to winning this chip. If we come into Game 6 on Sunday, AD is going to be I think LeBron's going to be MVP, but AD is going to be so valuable to this team winning this chip. So valuable. Let me see here. AD getting hurt. AD getting hurt. I think you're saying hurt the whole game. Yeah. I would have loved Rondo setting up the last play. It would have been so beautiful, wouldn't it? To have a Celtic help a ex-Celtic help a Laker win a championship. That would have been so great. Bron and AD should both have had some and ones that would have tied the game. Now that's true. There were plenty of moments where AD and Bron drove and weren't getting calls. Okay, there were plenty of moments like that. The putback that gave us the lead that AD hit, he was clearly fouled. But we also know that in the last 5 minutes, they swallow that whistle. So what you want to do is you want to walk into those situations up so that those non-calls benefit you as opposed to benefiting the Heat, which it did tonight. I think Butler's confidence is at an all-time high, and he thinks the Heat can take this game to a 7. That I'm telling you, and let me tell you this: there's some stars who say certain things because they know their team needs to hear it. I 100% believe that Butler is convinced they're going to win this series. And that's why they signed him. He's that level of crazy. He literally thinks they're going to win this, and that's why it's so tough, because he's showing nothing in his personality or in his countenance or in his body language that they're out of it. While we walk in, we're super serious, Kobe mode. He's walking in, joking and laughing and drinking coffee. He is footloose and fancy free. He's doing his thing, and I think that's a part of how he's playing so free. The Lakers need to walk into that game feeling the freedom of the game, feeling that not feeling the pressure of trying to win the championship, but exploring, man, and just having fun with beating the Heat. I think it needs to be more about beating the Heat than it needs to be about winning the chip. If you understand what that means, hopefully that makes sense. If it's about winning the chip, then you kind of let the Heat be the antagonist in that story. But if you're talking about beating the Heat, you're making this a one-on-one, mano-a-mano. You're respecting your opponent. You're trying to outthink them. You're not trying to think about winning the chip. You're trying to think about beating your opponent. You want to do whatever you can to establish dominance. And I think that's one of the things that kept Kobe on his game, man. He really wasn't concerned about the chip as much as he was stealing the will out of his opponent. And that takes you focusing on who's in front of you and not what they're keeping you from on the other end. They should have never changed jerseys. Well, I guess. Yeah, why not double Butler whenever anyone other than Bron or AD is on Butler? The issue is, Alexander, the issue with that is the doubling, and the reason why you keep hearing that, you're going to hear this from announcers. When it comes down to doubling Butler, it's about timing. And you have to have the right situation and the right timing, because when you double, you leave someone open. And so you just got to trust that your teammates can rotate around that circle and be able to keep their three-point shooters from getting hot. This is why Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson are on the court so often, is because they know that if they can just get into position, they'll be great. Now, they'll settle for the defensive liability that they are on the other end, because they're so dangerous in the double team on the offensive end. And so you'll see it. As soon as it's time to double, look at when you see the Lakers on one side of the court, look at Phil Handy, and you'll see Phil Handy call it. You'll see Vogel call it. You'll see Jason Kidd call it, when to call that double. And when they do the double, it works great, but they have to have the right timing and the right situation. Otherwise, you leave your guys stranded, man. You leave them stranded out there, scrambling, trying to run people off the three-point line, or trying to stop people at the rim because you doubled at the wrong time. So it's really about that. Duncan Robinson made 7 threes tonight, setting a new record for three-pointers made by an undrafted player in the NBA. Good for him. Absolutely. I'm listen, man. Duncan Robinson's listen, he's a tremendous shooter, man. He's a tremendous shooter. I appreciate him for that. Green just needs a few easy ones. That will build confidence. I agree. And then just not overthinking his shots. Just shoot it in rhythm. Just shoot it in rhythm. He passes you the ball. You know the ball's coming to you. Shoot it in rhythm and get it going. Last time we won, we were in the yellow jerseys. Huh. Yeah, that's true. I think the Heat are going to be in their black jerseys on Sunday, so I think we may be back to our whites, I think. Vogel said those last 2 calls by the refs were bad. I agree. The role players like Duncan won the game for them. If Duncan didn't have a career night, we win. Angelo Vergara, I appreciate you saying that on Periscope. Sean, for me, it's win on Sunday or the Heat win in 7. Now, if Bron texts him and says Sunday's a must win, we saw what happened last time he said that. We won. The experience, like you said, will help in the future. It will, man. It will. I think this team is going to benefit from this, but it hurts. It hurts us fans. I know it's got to hurt the coaching staff. I know it's got to hurt those players. And I know LeBron is heated because he gave you an all-time. Tonight should have been the night he was holding that Finals MVP and that Larry O'Brien together. Tonight should have been that night. And he's going to have to do it all over again. They need to do something about them kick out threes Miami get. Listen, I have never seen a team throw up a three and their feet at the same time as much as I thought James Harden did it, but these guys do it at an all-time level. I just never seen it where they do it so often. Now, what I did like is that as much as we were called for fouls, especially on those two threes that we fouled on in the second quarter, there were plenty of times where I thought, man, they're going to call it, and they didn't. They swallowed the whistle. I like seeing that. I want them to recognize that kicking out the feet is a flop, period. That's what it is. Green is not taking open threes. He pump fakes and drives. Yeah, and that lets you know, we've never known Danny Green to be the floater. He's been doing that a lot these playoffs. Pump faking, going to the hole and flirting and doing floaters. That's not his game, which lets you know mentally he's overthinking or doing something. It'd be better for him to pump fake pass, right? But we'll see how the Lakers adjust. I know it's going to be tough, and I know it's going to be hard. Because, listen, Jeannie Buss is there. Adam Silver is there. Rob, everybody's waiting. They're just waiting for the Lakers to take this home. And Lakers got to get it done. Kyle Kuzma is so wild. I love KCP right now, though. I love it, man. I want to see KCP getting shot after shot, shooting 6 of 15 for 16 points. And here's what it is. Here's what's crazy. KCP was in the starting lineup, was the third leading scorer for the Lakers, and came out even on the plus-minus. That lets you know how weird this game is. On the opposite end, here's what's crazy. Danny Green had the highest plus minus on the team with 12. You see what I'm saying? It's so weird when you go back and look at it. And you start looking at the analytics and looking at the film. But tonight's gonna hurt, guys. I'm gonna call it for tonight. 80 injury, both feet tonight. Can they win if he's not able to put up 2010? He only hurt his. Bron needs to play more minutes. I don't know what else you want from Bron. Bron is going to do exactly what... If Bron does what he did tonight, we'll win the game. We just need the other guys to step up, period. Bron don't need to do nothing else than what he's already done. Stop asking this man in year 17, people, in year 17 to try to turn back the hands of time and play like he's 21. He's already given you everything you need. And when you have your superstar give you 40 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals... You can't ask for anything more. This is not a LeBron issue. LeBron don't need to do nothing else. If he does what he did tonight again, we will marvel at the fact that a man at his age with this many minutes, most playoff minutes by anybody, tied Derek Fisher for most playoff games played, and apparently now he's going to beat him on Sunday. When Danny Green drives for a floater in the lane, he looks like he has lead boots on. DG with the 4-inch version. Y'all are funny, man. Hey, no joke. He does look like his legs are just gone. His legs are just gone. I'm so hurt right now. Not going to lie. It pissed me off. Ariel Marcelli, listen, I'm with you. And I know I'm laughing, but I have full confidence in this team. And I want to talk to y'all. We're getting ready to get off. It's been an hour. It's been a long, long season. Longest season in NBA history. Longest season in sports history. There's a lot going on. And we've been waiting for this moment for over a decade. Waiting and waiting to get back to this place to get a banner and hang it back up in Staples Center. And in a year where everybody called us the laughingstock, in a year where everybody looked at our front office and they just talked so much trash, we talked trash. We saw in the beginning of this year that there was so much potential for drama. We saw that there were so many people saying we were going to fail. When you looked at the odds of us winning, we weren't even in the top 3 of winning the title. People didn't think we would make it out of the Western Conference, let alone make it to the finals. And every time there was a negative situation, we bounced back and proved them wrong. When everybody talked crazy about Rob Pelinka, now we're on the other end saying this man got snubbed for Executive of the Year. When everybody said we traded away too many people, we have Anthony Davis, who puts up 28 points on a hobbled leg. Guys, with 3 assists and 3 steals. I mean, with 3 blocks and 3 steals, right? In a year where everybody said LeBron was coming to make movies, you see LeBron have his best statistical year that he's ever had, right? He's doing things statistically that he's never done before in assists and scoring and all of that, okay? All I'm saying is every time things have looked bleak and every time things have looked horrible and every time all of the narrative was this is horrible for the Lakers have proven people wrong. And this is what we got to remind ourselves tonight. Is that it hurts right now and it feels horrible. But the Lakers have earned our trust because when it looked horrible before, they got us to the finals. And even last year when LeBron got hurt and we were the 4th seed and then we couldn't even sniff the playoffs, he said, I'll make you a promise. We're going to come back better and we're going to make it happen. He's gotten us to the promised land. And I believe that if he had enough strength to get us here, he's going to have enough strength to get us home. And so when I look at Sunday, I look at Sunday as my resurrection day. Jesus died on Friday. Got up on Sunday. The Lakers died tonight on Friday. This is our Good Friday service. But I'm telling you on Sunday, we will celebrate the resurrection of the Laker franchise and we will raise another banner and you will see LeBron James holding the finals MVP trophy and you will see him holding the Larry O'Brien and then you'll look at the future and know I have LeBron for at least another year and we're getting ready to sign AD long term. And now that we know what our roster is, we can make some adjustments. This is the time for us to have faith that Sunday is coming. That's the hashtag. Sunday is coming. That's it. That's all we got to know. Sunday is coming. Sunday is coming. And on Sunday, we'll all celebrate. It's more than just a chip for 2020. It's a chip in a year that Kobe died. It's a chip in a year that the pandemic hit. It's a chip in, here it is. For us, it's a chip that puts another banner in a place where we've had a drought and we were the laughing stock of the NBA for so long. We're going to cry tonight. Our team died tonight. They died. But I know a guy who has learned how to resurrect from... Listen, LeBron came back from 3-1 and won a title. What do you think he's going to do up 3-2? He'll make it happen, guys. Someone said Braun should have punched Danny like MJ did Kerr. We're ready. Sunday's coming. Hashtag Sunday's coming, people. Let's go. We getting this win. Game 6. It's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. What are you talking about? We lose game 5, and listen, they all talking crazy. We getting up on Sunday. Sunday is going to be, we're going to take him to church on Sunday. Hashtag Sunday coming. I don't care how much coffee he drink. Jimmy Butler ain't going to get the best of us in game 6. We coming out, we swinging, and we going to make it happen. Period. Pearly whites for Kobe. Heavenly. There it is, guys. Rest easy tonight, man. I'll see you guys on Sunday. I know it's going to be better. And he's going to lose. Oh, Jubilance. Okay, everybody mark this down. He says that Jubilance. I'll ask that you come back on Sunday. Jubilance. I don't know what I don't know how to pronounce it. You said that LeBron's going to lose 3-1. Okay? Obviously, you didn't do the math because it's already 3-2. But here we go. Come back Sunday. That's all I'm asking you to do. Come back Sunday and come back into this chat. Just come back into this chat on Sunday. Everybody mark him down. He's on Twitter. JUBALANCE. LeBron had 40 and still lost. It's over. Please keep the receipts. Come back on Sunday. We want to see you for Sunday service. We're going to have a night service on Sunday. We have a whole lot of stuff going on. We invite you to come out. We're going to have a huge celebration. We're going to have a huge resurrection. I can't wait for you to come on out. Resurrection Sunday is happening on Sunday. So Jubilance, come on out. Bring your friends. Bring all your friends. I'm almost positive you're probably a Clipper fan. So bring all your friends so that we can expose you to what the gospel of a championship looks like. Sunday night, invite your friends right here to the Showtime Forum postgame show, and we're going to get it done. Period. All right?